And welcome back to the Very Terrible Podcast, Episode 6, coming back with a Spring Break update. I'm Jason.
With B-Spike.
B-Spike is back, everybody. Welcome back to B-Spike on the mic. How was your spring break?
First half was good, second half sucked.
Yeah, so since we were last together on the show, we were preparing ourselves for spring break. And all of the activities and things that we had planned and all those. And one of those activities was our pre-trip to Busch Gardens, Tampa?
Yeah.
Yeah, not St. Petersburg, Tampa Bay. So we went ahead and Bee's got a trip with her friends coming up to Busch Gardens. And we decided to go ahead and buy, instead of the package that all of her friends were going with, we bought season pass, I think it was.
Yeah.
Because they had this ridiculous buy one park, get one park free kind of deal going on. And then it turns into this weird paradigm of you have to buy all these upgrades to make anything work. So we decided to buy the annual passes as when we got up there. And we had our day at Busch Gardens, which was an exercise in patience.
To say the least.
Yeah. So you get to. I haven't been to Busch Gardens in so long. Back when in late '90s, early 2000s, and I was just a single young man on my own. I used to go a lot to Busch Gardens, and it was easy to get to. I only lived an hour away. I had nothing but some free time, and my friends were all wanted to go up, and you'd buy these season passes, and you could just go, and it was all go fine. And this is back when Busch Gardens was owned by Anheuser-Busch and the people who make Budweiser beer. So the people that bring you Budweiser, Bud Light, Busch Beer owned an amusement park, one in Florida, one in Virginia, with their namesake Busch, B-U-S-C-H Gardens, and even in Tampa they have a Busch Boulevard. It's all tied in together, and it was just a really cool place. And it was this amusement park that wasn't quite Disney, but you didn't have Disney prices, and then you would go up there, and it was owned by the beer people. So it had all these beer classes you could take, and you had free beer samples. And for a young person on their own and out in the real world, it was a really great time. So now years and years later have gone by, and we revisit Busch Gardens, and I've told the stories to be about how awesome it was and how many things we did and all that sort of stuff. And we get to Busch Gardens, and she had been once before, and it wasn't the best experience, right?
No. I was at another kid's birthday party, and at the time I was too young to go on all the rides I wanted to go on, so that made me very displeased.
Yeah. And then we ended up in Sesame Street Land.
Yeah.
Which, we walked by Sesame Street Land the other day when we were there last time, and it actually looked pretty cool.
Yeah.
So you were mad about Sesame Street, but then it wasn't to be mad at.
It was a big fun park area.
Yeah. So, we get to Busch Gardens, and we only had our, it was Fun Pass, right? Fun Pass, buy one, get one free.
Yeah.
Fun Pass. And so then the one of the problems with Busch Gardens begins, and it's, welcome to Busch Gardens. Oops, I didn't hit my sound effect right. Welcome to Busch Gardens. You have to park your car. Would you like a drink? Would you like a picture? Would you like to get in line quicker? And everywhere you go in Busch Gardens, it turns into this, oh, there's an upcharge. Oh, there's an extra fee. Oh, there's that. So you go in there, and you're not even in the park yet. All right, it's time to park your car. And then, okay, so we pay $30 to go park the car. And then we get up to the front, and we're like, well, not if we upgrade. And they advertise these upgrades. Upgrade your park pass now. So if you go and you upgrade your park pass, and it comes with free parking. I'm like, oh, well, let's do that. Well, and I asked them, well, if I upgrade my thing, how can I have my $30 back for parking? And they went, no. I'm like, oh, well, that's less than great. So we still paid our $30 to park, and then we went in, and then it was the Wine and Cheese Festival or something.
Oh, yeah, it was coming up. It wasn't there yet, but they had all these photographers and big fancy backgrounds prepared for the Food and Wine Fest, so you would want to go.
Yeah, and then so like, oh, would you like to have your picture taken here? I'm like, well, we take our own picture, and they're like, no. I'm like, wow, all right, I don't want that. So we began to we said, all right, let's go hit some rides, and we had this list of rides we wanted to go on, and the first one was what, Tiger Chase? Is that
Cheetah Hunt.
Cheetah Hunt? Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
Something about a cat running fast. So we get in line, and it says estimated time to wait. It was
80 minutes.
80 minutes.
Oh
So
my gosh.
yeah, we watched this ride thing, and in the interest of full disclosure, I'm not a real huge fan of roller coasters. They're fine, and B wanted to try her hand at some roller coasters that she hadn't really tried before, and anything with loops we hadn't tried yet. So we're in line, and this line is just terribly long, and you can see the ride going, and it looks like a lot of fun. And like I'm watching my watch, and we hit the 80-minute mark, and we're only halfway through the line. I'm like, oh, this is bad, because at this point, are you going to spend another 80 minutes in line just to get up to the front and then have the ride be like, oh, which is actually what happened on a couple of our rides that we went on later in the
Yeah.
day.
Not to mention, they had these weird stop and go things. So the cheetah, like the cart, it would you either got really lucky or really unlucky. So if you were the first one in line, it just shot you forward. But if you were the second one in line, it pulled you back and then it stopped you and then it pulled you back again. It shot you forward, and all these people were hitting their heads really hard.
So, so we decided after the first 80 minutes, we're like, you know what, you can't. It took us, 2 hours to drive up, and it was going to take
Yeah.
us 2 hours to drive home. And then it was, we're not going to waste all day standing in line, because that's not amusement whatsoever. So we said, to heck with it, let's go ahead and get out of this. So we decided to ditch that ride and move on to something a little easier. And we got on, I think it was an app or something that kind of told us where, what was up next.
It was a digital map.
Oh yeah, the digital map, and it kind of told us like the wait times of what was going on. And then we went to, what other rides did we do after
The
that?
sand serpent.
Oh, the Sand Serpent. So they have this terrible audio recording, and it's a little kid's roller coaster, really. And the line's not doesn't look like it's very long until you realize that there's the regular people line, and then there's the line, and it's the one that where the people bought the fast pass or whatever. What is it called?
I don't.
It's like the equivalent,
Lightning line or something.
Yeah, it's the equivalent of Disney's Fast Pass. And basically, you're second class citizens as you're waiting in your regular line. For the people to go through their first line to sit there and they cut in, and then the stupid recording. Welcome to the Sand Serpent, and then you hear the Sand Serpent all day long, Sand Serpent, and then it's driving you nuts. So we wait to go to the Sand Serpent, and we're halfway through the line, and it goes, "Attention, ladies and gentlemen, the Sand Serpent is broken." And there's something happened to this dollar store, kids ride, and then you couldn't ride the Sand Serpent. So half the people jump out, and I'm like, all right, well, we've got to wait. I mean, at this point, we're not going to do any rides if we just keep giving up. So we waited for 20, 30 minutes. They fixed whatever thing. They didn't even do anything. I don't even see them do anything, but they fixed it. And we hop back in line, and we ride the Sand Serpent. And then that was fine. And then, we went to go get something to eat, right? I think that was the first time we went to get something because it was the donut. Tell us about the donut.
Oh, okay. Forgot about that for a second. So I was hungry, but obviously, as we all know, like parks do not have the most nutritious food. So whether I got an actual meal or a dessert, they would probably have an equal amount of nutritional value. So I decided to go with a cookies and cream donut. It was a little larger than averagely sized.
Yeah.
I'd say it's about the size of like a appetizer plate
Yeah.
at an average restaurant.
Yeah. And
And it was cookies and cream. And there was 3 enormous Oreos sticking out of the top, which I'm not going to lie, tasted stale.
yeah.
This donut was like $12 or $13. It's a donut. I don't understand why.
They have you. There's this paradigm in the park of, well, we've got you in our walls and you're going to eat our food and it's going to cost you and there's nothing you can do about it. So yeah, we buy the $12 donut and then we go on to, which was the other ride? The next ride we went on.
Scorpion.
The Scorpion. So the Scorpion is a roller coaster. It's the next grade up, I would call it.
However, it's very old and shaky. And before he tells the story, I'd like you to know that many of my friends and their parents have also gotten injured on this ride. Continue.
So we took an injury on this ride with the Scorpion. So once again, stand in line. Now there's nobody in this line. It was really kind of cool. So we scoot up to the front and we run up to the front like, this is gonna be great. We're gonna get in line. And run ride goes into, and we're kind of watching how it goes through the loop. And B's never been on a loop before, so I'm talking about the loop. And then we get to the next group that's in front of us, and the thing starts to go up the, what is it, the incline?
The
Incline.
like right before you're about to drop, it's going up.
Yep, it's going up. Halfway, and attention, ladies and gentlemen, the scorpion is broken. I'm like, what are we doing here, people?
And these people, I felt so bad. They were sitting in the ride, like right before they were about to like slap down.
Yep.
So they just had to sit there and wait for like 20 minutes.
At least, yeah.
Sitting there like this, just like leaned back really far.
Yep. They couldn't. Yeah, there's nothing. They couldn't get off. They couldn't get on. They had to wait. They had to have maintenance come over. All these people had to go. They had these announcements: "Do not exit the ride. The scorpion is under, under ba 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 ba," and it was just really this amateur hour horse piss. It was really bad, and then it makes us nervous, right? Because we were going to be the next ones to go on it. So then, we get ready to go, and the ride goes. Okay, everyone's going to be fine. Then we go on the ride. We go tick 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 up. And then it lets loose, and I'm going to let B take it from there.
So a little backtrack real quick. I was panicking the entire time since we got in that line. So not only was I scared to go on the ride, but it just broke down. And now I'm realizing how old it is, so that made it even better. So I remember we got up, like you were saying, and then we were going down, and then the only part I remember was swerving the corner and then leaning back, and that's all I remember.
Yeah, so in the middle of the going down in the corner, you remember, was a loop. And B did not remember the loop because with the G-forces, apparently B passed out.
Yeah.
So that was good. I was talking to her the whole time. I'm like, here we go. We're going down the loop. We're upside down. We're going around. We're right side up. It's over. And all of that was not in the old memory banks when we got off the ride.
I don't know if I don't think, I obviously wasn't conscious. But I remember my shoulders getting really heavy. But it was for more than the duration of the loop.
So
which I know is weird.
Say, yeah. So we got off the ride, and she looks at me and goes, I don't remember a loop. I said, yeah, there was a loop. And, it's just, dizzy, lightheaded, things like that. So we continue our day at the park, and we go to, do we eat again first? Is that or do we eat right? No, because you weren't wet yet.
I got pizza.
Yes. So, now we realize that we went into the cafeteria, and it was more... So, you want to either get a sandwich for $14, a hamburger for $18. It's 2 slices of pizza for $14. I mean, you can buy an entire pizza for $14, but you can only have 2 slices there of their, handmade out of a box crap-ass pizza. So then, we basically just sat there and we ate. And we said, okay, well, we have one more ride in us. What do you want to do? And I think, you went on the, I don't even know what the water one was called.
River Rapids.
River Rapids. And at this point, one of us had to have a dry butt going home, so I did not go on. But River Rapids went fine. And then on the way home, there were some complaints of headaches and lightheadedness.
And I had to eat because my mother was convinced I was just hungry because I didn't have a whole lot of food in me. So I ate, didn't get any better. And then for the following 2 days, still didn't feel any better. And I was on the bus one afternoon, and I texted my dad.
That's me.
Yep. And I said, he asked how I was doing, and I told him my head hurt. So when I got home, Mom took me to the ER, and I got...
a concussion.
Ta-da! And vertigo.
And vertigo. But I don't even know. Looking back now, I mean, I know they diagnosed it as a concussion, but we scanned your head later on that week, and it came back fine.
So it was a concussion, just not a very serious concussion, which is good.
Yeah. So, we're not sure how the future of roller coasters will look in our household, but we did realize that Busch Gardens is not Disney. In no way, shape, or form. I just think when you go to Disney, you just know you're going to pay a substantial amount of money, but you're going to pay it all up front, and then it's over. And you don't have to, you can buy all your stuff ahead of time, you can buy everything ahead of time, and you just don't have to worry about it. To where you have like the Busch Gardens experience is more like a town fair feel to it. It really is an old rundown park. It used to be different. It used to be a whole lot better, and like it makes me feel guilty where I remember the good old times there. And it is what it is. So it's a park in Tampa Bay, just a few miles away from Raymond James Stadium, and just in the in the middle of probably not the best part of town, just off campus, really, of South Florida. And yeah, so that was that started our spring break, and then spring break led to the hospital visits and the head scans, and that's we always have to have a hospital visit and some kind of scan involved whenever we do anything around here. It feels like.
Yeah.
Yeah. So which leads to us to what are we going to do for summer vacation?
I don't know yet. I just want to muscle through the end of school. Don't get me wrong, I love my teacher, but I despise school, especially studies weekly. Yeah.
What is the Studies Weekly?
Remember that terrible test I had to take?
Well, our listeners don't know what a Studies Weekly is.
Oh. Well, they do science and social studies.
Yeah.
However, my teacher excels at teaching science, so we don't really do that. We don't do the science, but we do the social studies. Terrible. Half of the questions on the test are incorrect, and they're not even in there. So my friends and I were allowed to take it with a partner or two. And so we looked back in the text for this one question. It's like, which of the following did England export? Well, in the text, it said that they exported wool and tree leaves or something. I don't know. And then it said what got imported to them was wool, plates, and tea. So we assumed that the answer was the wool and the tree leaves. Because that's what it said. But then the question was completely different on the answer sheet. So we got it wrong.
Oh, no.
Are
Are these heavily graded exercises?
It's the only social studies grades we get.
Oh.
So I suppose. But we take multiple, so it kind of balances out.
Yeah.
But, yeah. On the question, it said export. In the answer sheet, it said import.
Ugh.
So, personally,
So you're not going to miss those this summer? We should sign
No,
up for
not
extra?
at all.
No, we shouldn't sign up for have them mailed to the house?
Or maybe it didn't say import, honestly. I don't know. The question was the wrong answer.
Well, you're so confident. I don't understand how you could have got it wrong.
I don't know.
Well, either way, so we're not going to miss the end of the school year, right?
Correct.
We're going to have. And what plans do we have? All right, so we're going to go to Busch Gardens. At least we bought annual passes. We have to go back.
I want to go to the water park.
Yes, the water park.
Adventure
something.
Adventure Island.
Is it? It's right across. It's across the street. You can stand in the parking lot and see both places from one area.
Yeah.
So we're gonna do that. What else do we have? I don't think there's no trips planned.
Not
It's
really.
gonna be just 3 months of us standing here doing these podcasts.
I mean, Mom insists she thinks that there's going to be no mandatory vaccines on the cruises, but...
Yeah, that's yet to be seen.
Yeah.
Yeah, but as soon as we can get ourselves on a cruise ship, we'll be doing that.
Yep.
Yeah. And then for our listeners today that may think we sound different, we're in a remote studio because we're having air conditioning issues. So we're in a different part of the house. I call it a studio, but it's not. And yeah, so we're having air conditioning issues right before the summer hits, and we got to try to go on vacations, and everything's just piling up. So that's where we are as far as our summer plans we basically have done. So,
Correct.
have we had any social media activity?
I'm gonna...
No, nothing. Nothing.
I'm
social
gonna
media
post
director.
our alternative setup on our Instagram.
Okay. And that's it. Ugh.
Probably.
Wow.
Unless you finally agree to film some videos with me.
I am. I'm ready. It's a TikTok challenge. The very terrible TikTok challenge.
It's not a thing.
Well, we make it a thing. It's ours.
Oh my God.
The world's ours.
It's not a challenge if you're the only one who does it.
Well, that's the idea, that they're supposed to help do it with us. The listener. The listeners have to do it with us.
Yeah.
So let's see. And then we went to Facebook, and I think, did we do Instagram with our different logos that we were asking about? I know I did it on Facebook. I had all kinds of different logos for our show, the ones that you made, the ones that I made, and see what everybody thought. And then I've been looking into getting stickers made up and like a T-shirt, and then you could show your family and friends and give them for Christmas gifts and everything that they want to do with the very terrible podcast. What else did you want to do? You had something special you wanted to talk about today. Do you remember what it was?
Oh, the thing about the cats and the dogs, right?
I think so.
Yeah.
So,
So this is really random.
yeah, very
But I've
random,
been
no
thinking
segue.
about something recently.
Okay.
Cats never really evolved into anything different. They've always been cats because, like, back in the Egyptian days, they were, like, gods and goddesses. And then now cats are just, personal opinion here, kind of selfish and wanting everything for themselves. So technically, they haven't really changed. They've just adapted to modern humanity.
Okay. But dogs did it. But dogs did evolve.
Into, like, devolved.
Evolve.
They got worse. Because, like, wolves were these brave, like,
You've
or
seen
so
the
I
meme.
think.
That's what it is. You've seen that meme with the big, strong dog,
No.
and then there's the meme with the little pudgy one
What?
going. You haven't seen the meme?
I've never seen that.
Oh.
But anyway, like, wolves are, like, these brave, fierce creatures. And then there's pugs who can't breathe right. There's chihuahuas who are, like, 10 pounds and think they're wolves. And there's these big dogs that are, like, little cinnamon buns. So I don't know.
Yeah.
I feel like the wolves would be disappointed.
And then the cats, would they be disappointed, or they
No.
just be like, this is status quo?
Yes.
This is what we do. We are the cats. The
Yes.
cats, See, and for my random, I think we'll do random facts at the
Sure.
end of every show. So that was our random topic on yours. My random topic is the post-shower poop.
What?
Did you ever have a post-shower poop?
No.
Like, you take a shower and you get all clean, and then all of a sudden, like, your dinner hits, and you're like, oh, I gotta poop. But then you already took a shower. And then what do you do? Do you try to hold it and so you don't have to poop after your shower because you're already clean? Or do you have to poop after your shower, which pretty much ruined your shower? You've never had that.
No.
That's a very grown-up thing, I guess. So as an adult, we always have to deal with the post-shower poop.
I tend to think that's just you.
I don't know. I think it's not, because I don't think it's just me.
I think it is.
Because then even if you go back in the shower, you never feel completely clean again. And then you're drying off with a wet towel because you've dried off once already. It's just not a good thing. So the post-shower poop is another random thought of the day from the Very Terrible Podcast. What else do we have?
I don't know.
No? Okay.
I don't have anything else I'd like to discuss.
So that's it. I guess that'll wrap up episode 6 of the Very Terrible Podcast.
Yep.
Let's see. We had... Well, let's see. You missed the last solo show that I did while you were... I don't know where you were at. I think you
How
were at
dare
school.
you do a solo show?
You weren't available. I had to...
Okay, you could have waited for me. You could have been patient.
Well, you can listen to the solo show, and then you can have your own solo show opining on the first solo show.
Okay, then.
All right. Well, otherwise than that, I'm Jason.
I'm B-Spike.
And the dog's over in the corner. Otherwise than that, this has been episode 6 of the Very Terrible Podcast. We'll see you next time.
Bye, everybody.